Good afternoon, Year 4. Okay then, our reading is continuing to look at inference questions. And the first thing I want you to think about is what helps us when we use the skill of inference. So using these as a clue, the pictures at the top, pause the video, what helps us when we use inference skills. Okay then, so we use our clues from the text or the media. We use what we already know, so our common knowledge, and we put these together to form an idea. So well done if you remember those 3 steps. Okay, so we are looking at a written text today, and it's called The Old Railway Yard. Jack was scared. He was walking through an abandoned railway station on his way home. He came this way because it was a lot quicker, but he was regretting his decision. His hairs on his neck were stood up like soldiers in a parade. His heart was racing and his stomach churned. As he paced through the creepy yard, he tried to stay under the colossal shadows of the huge, ancient steam trains. Then something strange happened. A light appeared in one of the driver carriages of the train. Hesitantly, Jack stopped and looked back. He could not see anyone in the driver's carriage. Jack had a decision to make. His head told him to go back home and get out of there as quickly as possible. His heart told him to go and explore the strange light. Jack made his decision. He sprinted over to the carriage and heaved the door open. It creaked loudly and some dust dropped onto the floor. Jack started to walk through the old carriage, which had rotten floorboards. As he got to the old-fashioned handle that led into the driver's compartment, he paused for a moment. He took a deep breath and opened the door. The air was still, the smell was dusty. The light flickered, flick, flick, flick. But nobody was there. All of a sudden, a deafening clank sounded. Jack looked out of the window and saw a tree move sideways. Then Jack had a realization. It wasn't the tree moving, it was Jack. It was the train. The train was slowly winding down the track. Steam started to chug. Faster the train went, faster and faster. How can this be? Whispered Jack to himself in amazement. He was sure he was the only person on the train. I spotted a couple of spelling errors in there from Miss Cook. I should have checked that before I put it onto our flip chart. Okay then, so our questions again dealing with inference. What signs show us that Jack was scared? So let's go and find our clues. Okay, so Jack was scared, so we want clues to show this. Okay, it was that's why I'm skim reading. His hairs on his neck were stood up like soldiers in a parade. His heart was racing and his stomach churned. Okay, so that's all our clues. I couldn't think of my word then. Okay, so his hair stood on end, his heart raced, and his stomach churned. Okay, so we know that these are show not tell for feeling scared. Okay, so our idea then, Jack is showing us that he's scared through the description of his heart racing, stomach churning, and his hairs standing on end. Okay, so I've looked for my clues, I've used what I already know, and I've formed an answer, making sure that it answers the original question. So guided now. In paragraph 1, why do you think Jack tried to stay under the shadows of the train? Okay, so let's go back to paragraph 1. Let's reread. Jack was scared. He was walking through an abandoned railway station on his way home. He came this way because it was a lot quicker, but he was regretting his decision. His hairs on his neck were stood up like soldiers in a parade. His heart was racing and his stomach churned. As he paced through the creepy yard, he tried to stay under the colossal shadows of the huge, ancient steam trains. Okay, so we already know that he's feeling scared. Okay, and we know that it's, if we go back and look at our text, it says it's a creepy yard. Okay, so he is choosing to stay in the shadows, but why? Why would he choose to stay in the shadows if he's feeling scared and it's a creepy yard? Okay, so use your brain now, think about why he might be staying in the shadows. So hopefully you've realised that it's so he can't be seen. He feels more safe because he's hidden. So if there's anybody there, they won't notice him. So let's form this into an idea. Jack is staying under the shadows because he is scared and he wants to stay unseen. Okay then. Now moving on to your independent questions then. Why do you think Jack paused before opening the door to the driver's compartment? What clues in the text infer that the steam trains were old? And what emotions might Jack be feeling in the final paragraph? Okay, so your independent questions to be getting on with year 4.